Hey friends, Sleepy here. Welcome to a brand new episode of my weekly gaming playlist series. We've made it to another Friday, so it's time to do a recap, a little overview of the games I've been playing this week with you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the games I shared today, so if you played them before, let me know your thoughts. I'd like to hear about the games you guys are playing, because that always gives me ideas of new games that I might want to check out and play. And if you guys have a recommendation on games you think I might enjoy playing, let me know, as I'm always looking for new games to play and experience. This week I got one game to share with you guys. It's for the Xbox One and Series X, and it's a game I've actually been playing for the last 3 weeks. So this actually gets me completely caught up with all the games that I've been playing since my break. And I have had a lot of fun with this game. I've got over 40 hours in it now, and that's with dying a few times and having to restart. Really awesome game, though. And that is a game called System Shock, and I just picked this up recently. I got this off of Gamefly. It was like $18. Really awesome game. This is a remake of the old classic 1994 PC game System Shock. It was like with the MS-DOS and Windows and stuff. Really cool old school game, but they remade it and it got released this year in May. Now it was released digitally only for the PC in 2023, but got physically released this year in May of 2024, which is really awesome. I'll read you guys from the back. System Shock is back. Experience the classic dystopian horror shooter in a modern remake, giving a new generation of players a chance to fight Shodan, the space station's deranged computer hell-bent on humanity's destruction. Are you doomed, or can you survive the Citadel? And then it says, become fully immersed, shoot, brawl, crawl, climb, leap, and think your way through the Citadel station. Face off against the forces of a rogue AI gone mad. Just really cool. This was released by Night Dive Studios. So they did a really fantastic job with remaking that old classic game. This actually started with a Kickstarter, which they got with like over $1 million raised. And it actually was in development since 2015. They had a lot of issues with it. They actually had to scrap the game a couple times and restart it because they wanted to do a reimagining. And eventually they decided, instead of doing a completely remake, changing absolutely everything, they decided to be more faithful to the source and just keep it as a remake of the original game and follow along the same plot, except they added some things to the game, and obviously they got updated visuals and graphics, but they still have that kind of old school look to them, which I really like. And the basic premise of the story is the game is a cyberpunk game, takes place in the year 2072. You play the character that's a nameless hacker, and you're trying to hack in files about this Citadel station. You get caught by this Tri-Optimum Corporation, and you're brought before their executive named Diego Edward, and he promises you that if you would hack Shodan for him, which is the computer intelligence that runs the Citadel station, that he will forgive your crimes for hacking, and he'll even take the time to implant this neural implant into you that you really want. And so your character agrees. You hack Shodan for him, and then he agrees to install the implant. Well, you get put into this healing stasis pod for 6 months, and then when you awake, you find out that you hacking Shodan, you actually deleted her ethical subroutines, so she became evil, and she started attacking the humans living on Citadel Station, and they start killing them. She starts turning them into cyborgs. She ends up wanting to release a bioweapon that turns some people into mutants, and then she's taking control of all the station's robots, and then you wake up, and now you have to try to stop Shodan and her stuff, and that's what the whole story takes place. And it's just a really fun game. There's multiple different levels within the ship, and each level has, like, there's medical, security, there's the bridge, the reactor, and there's all these different levels broke up, and then with each level there's different stuff for you to do. There's puzzles to solve, weapons to find, enemies to defeat, and then you go through and you can find collectibles and stuff, and it just was a really fun experience, and I've been having a lot of fun. So let's check out some gameplay of System Shock. Guys, today we're checking out a really cool game, System Shock. Now, this is a remake of that old 1994 classic cyberpunk horror first-person shooter. I played that game back in the 90s on a friend's computer, and I thought it was really awesome. I never owned it, never beat it, but I really enjoyed the game. And a few years ago, they actually made a remake of it and kept the basic theme of the game and the similar, setup of the game, except it just updated with the graphics and visuals and modern day stuff. It's got some cool options, you've got your gameplay stuff you can adjust if you want to have tutorials and auto things like that. You can adjust the controls to your liking, which I had to adjust the look sensitivity because it moved too jerky for me, so I adjusted that. You can adjust your display, your brightness, your field of view, make it how you want it to be. There's two parts of the game. There's the real world you're in, but there's also this cool cyberspace you get to go into, which is basically like a virtual computer world which you fly around in, which is kind of neat. You can adjust the audio. And the thing I really thought was cool was this accessibility here, the language. But what I liked is you could change the color here to whatever color you want of this various one. You got quite a few to choose from. So I've just kept it to this kind of cool red one because it is a horror game, and I thought red just goes well with that. So you can adjust all of that stuff, which is neat. So it's got great options there. You also can save anytime you want. There's up to 20 save slots, which I recommend using in case you mess up on something. You can always reload another save. So I've got almost 6 hours in the game, and I beat just the first area, which you're going through this space station that's broke up into different levels, and you start off in medical. So I'm going to load an old save file that I made just for to show this video, because I can show you guys some of the combat and stuff here. But I'm currently now on the 3rd level of the game, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So let's check it out. It's got really good load times too. It loads really fast here on the Series X. It also works on Xbox One. Now obviously, since it's a remake of the 1994 game, it's obviously going to have stuff from old school RPGs, first-person shooters and stuff, which it does. And I like that it is updated the graphics a lot. If you had played the original, you could see a huge difference with the graphics here. The original one struggled a lot. There was a lot of frame rate issues and stuff. But obviously, being an early first-person shooter back in the day, they were limited with their hardware and stuff. But it was a really fun game, and so it was really cool coming back here and re-experiencing the game with these updated graphics. But they also have kind of a retro look to it, which I like, because it kind of makes it feel like an old shooter, and that's something that I really appreciate. They got really good colors and stuff. There's a lot of blood and gore in the game, which is cool. You can also search the enemies' bodies to get loot, which is cool. So like he's got armor and he's a dead cyborg. So the basic story of the game is it takes place in the future, a cyberpunk world. You're a nameless hacker. You get captured by this corporation, and you get taken to this giant space station. And there's an AI on here called Shodan, the computer, and you basically were told to take away its ethical routines. You delete them, and so it becomes self-aware and evil and wants to kill all humans, and it starts killing off the humans in this station, and eventually it wants to get to Earth so it can take over the Earth, and it wants to become a god, and wants humans to think of it as a god and worship it and stuff. And it released a virus, so some humans actually turned into mutant like zombie creatures, but others were turned into cyborgs, which I can show you guys here in this room where they're working on them. This dude's a cyborg, but you don't have to worry, these ones in purple don't bother you. But it's really creepy seeing, here's a human that's being turned into a cyborg, his body's all opened up, he's attached to this device, and they're putting stuff on him. Now what's really creepy is that these cyborgs kind of remind me of the Borg, which I wonder if they got inspired by Star Trek's with the Next Generation with the Borg, because that's what they kind of remind me with the red beams and being cybernetic organisms and stuff. But it's just really cool that they look like that. And then there's another one over here, which is pretty creepy. It is a horror type game, so the music fits really well. Now the old game had like techno music, but this one they made it more like a dark and horror setting. That's funny, I've never seen this purple guy actually ever come out of the room. They always stayed in there, so that's weird. It's got cool combat though. You have your you have melee weapons. You start off with a pipe, but eventually you find different guns. And so you have your little inventory system here, so everything fits in the grid. If you don't have enough inventory space, you cannot pick stuff up. So you do have to be aware of that. There are duplicate guns you'll find. There's damaged ones and stuff. There's a thing where you can salvage junk that you find in the world, and you can actually use that to turn into credits, because there's vending machines around the world where you can actually buy ammo and buy upgrades, which you definitely want to get for your weapons. There's also upgrades for your character that you'll find spread throughout the world. As you play through the story, you'll find it. There's a bar on the right up there keeping track of your health, and then your energy meter, because there's actually a gun that uses energy, and you can refill that in different areas. And it's just a really awesome. Then you have a little bar down below your little hotkey where you can keep different weapons. You can switch to that you have hotkeys. Like here's the little laser type weapon, but then there's also handguns, shotgun that you find later on, different grenades, and then there's health items and other items that boost your performance and stuff and make you stronger, which is really cool. You have the great menu system here, keeps track of the maps for each of the different levels that you play on. And as you play through, you unlock the map. So until you're in an area, you know, this map doesn't all show. So as you play through the game, you unlock the map, which is great. This is your status of the different levels, which I'm currently on medical, but there's a bunch of different levels to the game. This keeps track of the audio and little documents that you find that you can read. It has pretty good voice acting as well. I can just pick one random one here, and you guys love to hear the audio to it.
If you're hearing this, we have set up an operations base to assist in resisting Shodan. Come to Beta Quadrant, and you will find the medical research vaults have been turned into a radioactive trench. If you are coming in from Gamma, our guards will extend the bridge for you. You can also activate the bridge using a nearby wiring panel. Any humans that can hear my voice, come to Beta Quadrant and make a stand against Shodan.
And then this little keeps track of your interfaces. Since it's a cyberpunk game, as you play through the game, you'll find enhancements that you can do to your body that make you stronger and give you new abilities and stuff, which is great. So I'll show you guys some combat here, because there's some enemies behind this door. And I'll show you guys using melee first. There's one of those cyborg, like commando type ones that have a gun, and then here's one of the and then here's one of the mutant creatures. They're really nasty and ugly looking and bloody. I do recommend always checking them, because sometimes they have stuff on them. See, like he's got a he had a health pack and some other stuff, and then this idiot killed himself because he threw down a bomb, so killed him and another enemy. So sometimes you can be swarmed by enemies, so you have to watch. And then like here's a little puzzle thing where I had to make my way around to unlock this door here, and now I have a shortcut set up. Damn, a whole bunch of them. Look at them all. There's the cyborgs, the ones I said that kind of look like the Borg there. And there you go, you can see you can get swarmed by just a ton of enemies sometimes. They'll be together. And it's always key, you know, make sure you check the enemies when you kill them, because sometimes they have items you need as well. This is really cool.
Cyborg conversion canceled. Standard station restoration procedures online.
Now, if you find these little cyborg stations, if you activate them, when you die, you'll actually get revived into the world. If you die when this is not on, then you actually get turned into a cyborg and the game ends, and you have to reload your save. So it's important to find those. There's also these cool cargo lifts here, which you can actually use as just storage, and you can store stuff in them that you can then find on other levels. So basically it's just like a storage for your items, which it only holds so much though, but it's great to have. You can put key items in there if you don't want to lose them, which is great. And then the last thing I want to show you guys, which I'm going to pause for a moment, is take you into a cyberspace level so you guys can see what the cyberspace part of the game is like. Alright, now we're going to check out a cyberspace. So these little interfaces you'll find on the levels, and you have to go in here and destroy a lock in here to unlock a door, and you also can find upgrades for your little flying vehicle that you have here. So it's pretty cool. Just a neat little change of stuff. So like this was a switch, so I had already beat this, but you'd have to shoot this and then watch it to unlock stuff. And it's in 3D, so you can move it around, and it is basically like being kind of like a ship, which is kind of cool. And then there's some different enemies for you to fight. And you have a health bar, and if you die, you'll fail and you'll have to reload into here. So you gotta be careful. And as you play through these cyber levels, they get more difficult. You start getting introduced to new enemies, but you get new abilities to fight them. But you can also find health pickups here, which you definitely want to make sure that you use, but don't go crazy with them because there's only so many of them available. Now, you don't have to always fight all the enemies, but sometimes you're forced to. Like a door won't open up unless you kill all the enemies. So sometimes you have to. But other times, you just gotta destroy what you're supposed to destroy and then move on. And you can slow down how this forces you through, because sometimes you have to destroy enemies to get in the way. So this is where I had to destroy this little object here, and when I destroyed it, it unlocked a door for me, and then you just have to destroy all the enemies to leave. So, just wanted to give you guys a little look at the game. I definitely think you guys should check out System Shock if you're a fan of old school shooters, whether you played the old one or you never got a chance to play but you'd like to experience what that game was like. I recommend checking this out. It's a really awesome game. It's on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Series X, and the PC. Definitely worth checking out. Alright friends, so that was our look here at System Shock, a really awesome game I'm having a lot of fun with. I've got just 2 sections left now at the very top of the Citadel Station, and I'm getting towards the end of the game, and so it's really ramping up in difficulty. I've already died a few times, but I'm glad that I've been stockpiling ammo and health packs, and I've been upgrading my weapons. That's one thing I really like, is that there's a bunch of different weapons in this game, melee weapons, and then different guns like shotguns, pulse rifles, grenade launcher. There's a bunch of different weapons you can find, but then as you play through the story, you actually can use credits to upgrade the weapons, and you get the credits by scrapping random items that you find in the world by putting them to recycle stations, which is really cool. And then you can also buy ammo and food and stuff in vending machines that are throughout the station, which is really cool. But I've been having a lot of fun with System Shock. It's a really awesome game. So glad that I added it to my collection. I highly recommend that you pick it up and add it to your collection as well. You can get it anywhere between like $20 to $40 for a copy. If you go on GameFly, you can get it for about $20. If you have a membership with them like I do, you get a little discount on it, and that's how I got mine for $18. But I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to have it beat here by next week, and really glad to be checking out System Shock. Really awesome game. Highly recommend you guys check it out. So let me know if you guys have played the remake before or not. I'd love to hear about the games you guys have currently been playing. And if you have a recommendation on a game you think I might enjoy, let me know, as I'm always looking for new games to play and experience. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day. And Sleepy will see you next time.